Well, Mulder's mighty steamed about all this and heads back to confront Skinner over this, only to discover that Cancer Man is in there too, who of course is responsible for this being on the case. Though they knew so little, according to him, that they kept that to themselves to let Mulder do his thing without interference from them. And it kept the disease a secret to avoid panic, since telling the public about it accomplishes nothing other than making people freak out. And while I don't like the government misinformation any more than you do, look back at the 2014 Ebola incidents, and it makes a pretty compelling argument that the public will collectively lose their shit and the politicians will overreact so that they could tell all the cameras that they're taking swift and decisive action. I mean, you could debate whether or not information or decisions should be left in the hands of ordinary people, but Cancer Man is convinced he's right, and Mulder is convinced that telling everybody is what's right.
How many people are being infected while you stand here not doing your job? 10? 20? What's the truth, Agent Mulder?
Ouch. Don't you hate it when the bad guys have a valid point? Black lunged son of a... How many are being infected because you're not doing your job? Meh, meh, meh. You can't prove I did anything. Well, watch your ass, pal, because when I put my mind to it, there's nothing I can't... Christ! Oh, what fresh hell is this? You've reached Fox Mulder. Kindly fuck off. Yep, that's Scully calling to make sure Mulder feels even worse. She explains that the National Guard are here to assist with the cover-up, while the pharmaceutical company deals with the mess that they caused. Mulder wants her to get proof together so that he can go to the press and blow the whistle on this whole thing, but Scully believes that right now the panic that would create would do more harm than the disease.
What if someone dies because we withheld what we knew?
What if someone dies because we didn't?
Well, then I'd... Shit. Fine, but I'm taking your car. My seatbelt's all screwed up, and I just know before this day is over I'm going through this windshield and into the back of a manure truck. There's a chance that Scully was infected when Dr. Osborne was sprayed, so they're going to perform a test to see. The fatal disease isn't directly caused by the larva, but by a parasite that the larva carries. So to see if she's infected, she has to be bitten by one of them so that they can observe the blood work of the insect.
The contagion can only be contracted through exposure to the larvae.
How long will this take?
30 minutes.
Or it's free. Mulder goes to question Paul's wife, who is indignant about the way the public is being kept in the dark, and Mulder's complicity in that. But she tells him that Paul is on a 10 o'clock bus to Toronto, and they'll have to hurry because he appears to be growing an ugly breast on the side of his face. Scully is doing better than that, though. Her test result is negative, but Dr. Osborne collapses, and while she's gone, his body vanishes. She eventually finds it amongst the others, all being incinerated, meaning that now Paul is the only evidence left of what happened. Mulder's going to have to act fast, but at least they have the guy cornered on the bus. He convinces the marshals to let him go on the bus and catch Paul unawares to make sure that he doesn't hurt any of the passengers, and also so he can make a statement before he dies about what happened. Only problem is that Mulder doesn't find him on the bus. The guy's in the bus bathroom and catches who Mulder is the moment that he comes out, so he takes a boy hostage. A significant boy because we saw him with his mother earlier, and thus we care for his well-being. But seeing all the marshals outside tells Paul how screwed he is, so he explains that there was a package, but he can't say any more on account of being shot in the head. But Mulder still tells Skinner what happened.
They orchestrated this entire thing to circumvent years of FDA trials in order to get their drug on the market.
But that doesn't make any sense. They didn't test the drug on him. They exposed him to some larva that gave him horrible boils the size of a golf ball. There is nothing that this thing cures that is worse than what the treatment does to you. They really, truly gained nothing by exposing him to parasites. Never mind getting data about a drug that he probably wasn't even exposed to, and even if he was, the data would be tainted by him getting parasites. Even by stupid evil plot standards, this is impressively stupid and pointlessly evil. Mulder plans to go to the press, but Skinner tries to talk him out of it. But it doesn't matter because the company can explain everything away. The name of the scientist from the beginning was the same as that of the prisoner who got the package. So that means all the company has to do is say that it was a post office error and they can wash their hands of the whole thing. Although if I were them, I would go well beyond washing my hands to really make sure you didn't get this nasty shit. But Skinner does give Mulder a warning that this is just the beginning of what they have planned for him, seeing as how we're closing in on the end of the season after all. Emasculata gets a stamp of fine. It does have all the elements to make it a great episode, but two things prevent me from promoting it even further than that. First is the fact that the villain's scheme, as I've made clear, doesn't make any sense. And yet we're so used to these evil conspiracies that the idea of a pharmaceutical company using people as guinea pigs without their knowledge is just par for the course. Which brings me to the second reason. It just feels like it's sticking too much to the general X-Files formula. And not surprising since Chris Carter was one of the writers of it, but it helped to give it a sense that we've been here before, just in a different form. Still, there's no denying that aside of that, the episode does a good job of moving quickly and maintaining its grim tone. Scully's interactions in particular with the other fake CDC guy makes it feel like she's in a room with the devil. That's enough to mitigate the disappointment I had, sure, but it's not enough to erase it entirely.
All hail the Overlord! All hail the Overlord!